What is up? What is up? What is up, all my gamer friendulums? And it is Sunday, February 4th. And this week has actually been pretty newsworthy in terms of things I can report. This is my Sunday weekly news roundup of all the video game adaptation news, information that's been dropped this week. And there's actually been kind of a lot. Of course, don't forget everyone to like and subscribe. And yes, over here on Variety, it has been officially confirmed. Earlier this week, there was already a rumor about Catherine O'Hara being cast in season 2, and I was like, okay. And just today, a couple days later, in just a few days, it's been confirmed. So here we go over on Variety. Catherine O'Hara has been cast in The Last of Us Season 2 on HBO. Variety has learned. Details on the character we'll be playing are best kept under wraps. She joins returning series lead pedropascal and Bellaramsey in the hit series alongside new cast members Isabella Merced as Dina, Young Mazzino as Jesse, and Caitlin Deaver as Abby. O'Hara is one of the most celebrated comedic actresses in modern times, having first broken out during her time on the acclaimed sketch comedy series SCTV. She's best known most recently for her starring role in the comedy series Schitt's Creek, in which she played Moira Rose throughout the show's 6-season run. She received 2 Emmy nominations for the show, winning the award for Best Actress in a Comedy in 2020 for the final season. O'Hara is also known for her work in films with Christopher Guest like A Mighty Wind, Best in Show, Waiting for Guff, other features like Beetlejuice, Home Alone 2. I love Beetlejuice, and there you go. But it's been confirmed. Catherine O'Hara has been cast in Last of Us Season 2. We don't know exactly what her role is yet. I suspect there's been lots of speculation on. But continuing on with more Last of Us news, because this week has been a busy week for Last of Us news, and some Halo, just because Halo's coming out next week. In particular, Season 2 of this show, there's been a bunch of news. And I think all my news things that I have to report on are all based on this, because even looking up online, I couldn't find anything else to report on besides all this Last of Us news. Because I want to provide a variety, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm favoriting this game show, but it's what's being reported on right now. But Last of Us Season 2, Jeffrey Wright's enigmatic response, and the unveiling of new horizons in the post-apocalyptic The Last of Us Season 2, Jeffrey Wright addresses potential video game return. One of the most highly anticipated series of recent times, Last of Us has captivated audience with a post-apocalyptic world, compelling storyline, and iconic characters. Alright, I'm gonna skip all the parts that explain what it is, because I don't really need to keep explaining what this show is anymore. The actor, known for his exceptional performances in popular TV shows like Westworld, has been making headlines recently for his involvement in The Last of Us TV series. As the excitement surrounding the first season continues to build, fans and the gaming community have been eagerly anticipating the possibility of a return in subsequent seasons. In response to the buzz, Wright recently addressed speculation about his character's potential return in the video game franchise. Wait, was he a character in the games? Because I don't remember. Maybe he is, I just don't remember. In response to the buzz, Wright recently addressed the speculation about his character's potential return in the video game franchise. While remaining cryptic about the future, he expressed his enthusiasm for the role and the world of The Last of Us. His comments have only fueled fans' anticipation and desire to see more of this character story unfold. So yes, in the past week has been some announcements, but right here it says Season 1 and 3, Beyond 3, Part 3, which I don't see how that could happen. A game announcement regarding Season 2 and Season 3 of The Last of Us has sent shockwaves through the gaming community. Well, there is some news about the Game 3 coming out too, but that's like a rumor right now. With its intense and emotional storytelling, the series has become beloved by players around the world. This announcement has sparked numerous discussions, speculations, and theories about what lies ahead for the game's narrative. While details about the plot for Season 2 or 3 are currently scarce, the announcement has promised a continuation of the immersive and thrilling gameplay that players have come to expect. Fans are eagerly awaiting the release date and further plot news to get a glimpse into the next chapters of this post-apocalyptic tale. The Last of Us Season 2, more intensity and intrigue. Season 2 of The Last of Us promises to take viewers on a captivating and exceptionally immersive journey. Alright, continuing on with The Last of Us news. Over here on Games Radar, they were talking with Ellie Actor about The Last of Us big newcomers. So right here it says, I'm incredibly happy with who has been cast. Razzie says Game Theater Plus during an interview for her short film Villain, directed by Sparky Tishneko, whatever the fuck his name is. So yeah, this is based from an interview that she was having about something else, but of course he had to ask about the show. It's exciting for me. I'm happy to have a whole bunch of come and join them. It's going to be a lot of fun. Ramsey and Joel actor Pedropascal will be joined by Dever as well as fellow arrivals Isabella Merced and Young Mazzino. It's Dever Zabby should follow the source material, who was on a collision course with Ellie in The Last of Us Season 2. To put it mildly, it's one that's hotly anticipated by fans. Unlike the antagonistic relationship in Naughty Dog's critically acclaimed sequel, Ramsey and Dever's real-life meetup was decidedly more adorable and wholesome. I met Caitlin once at the most stupid place at a gala, Ramsey says of Dever, who was once touted to play Ellie in The Last of Us movie. She would have been the top choice after Bellaramsey. I met Caitlin there very briefly when we were talking about our cars. I knew they were talking about her, about casting at that point, so I was just sort of quietly like, hey, and shared numbers and stuff. Ramsey adds to the casting, she's excellent. Isabel and Young as well. I'm really excited to get going with all of them. Last of Us Season 2 is set to begin filmmaking imminently, with several new directors announced, including Loki's Kate Herron and the HBO return in 2024, and is filming in February-ish, which has already been reported. So that is what Miss Bellaramsey thinks about her cast, and of course, you know, she's not going to say anything mean. Not that she's lying, but still, what's she going to say? Oh yeah, So over here on Twitter, on a post that I'm actually almost a year late on, this was back in March 2023, and I can't remember why, if there was no episode that night because it had been done by then. Maybe it was the first week after it was done, or there was an event happening that would... This is a picture that I missed totally over a year ago, almost a year ago. No tlou on HBO, but season 2 is already on the way. This big old arm with a hammer. And to me, I just think of Abby. In the game, she's buff, so I don't get how that could be Caitlin Dever's arm, because she's tiny, but only arm I can think of holding that hammer. But I mean, it's the way it's drawn, it's like you don't see a whole lot. Yeah, so there's not a whole lot you can tell from that besides the arm and the hammer. Arm and hammer, but like, I don't know. It could be Joel's arm, but I feel like Joel's hairier for some reason. Maybe that doesn't even matter. Could be Ellie's arm. We're wondering if Bellaramsey's going to get buff up at all. Anything I've seen of her recently, she looks exact. And in season 2, like in the game, she should be a lot more grizzled and like skilled at fighting and whatnot. But I'm sure they're already working on that as filming ramps up in a week or two. Right over here on Collider, I managed to find something new that was only just reported about explaining the Arbiter character who's going to be in Halo's Season 2. As it says, a complicated villain explained. Next to Master Chief, the Arbiter is the most crucial character in the franchise, and this is, you know, a shot of them from the game. Significant changes are in store for Halo Season 2, but the introduction of a fan-favorite character from the game may set up a vast array of exciting story developments for the video game adaptation. The Paramount Plus series based on the award-winning first-person shooter received some pretty sizable backlash from fans after Season 1, reason a lack of accuracy to the original source material. Season 1 showrunner even famously claimed that the games weren't even taken into consideration at all for the show. Why would they even do that? Let's just take a show, call it Halo, but not really be like the games at all. That doesn't make sense. No wonder it was awful. I mean, like I said, Last of Us proves that if you just take essentially the same story from the game and put it into a show, it's perfect. Our already new showrunner David Weiner, I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong, appears to be taking the series in a new lore-accurate direction, such as the inclusion of the Fall of Reach, a crucial event from the original Halo games. Even more so, executive producers Kiki Wolfkill confirmed via interview that the elite Covenant operative known as the Arbiter will make happens. Fans will instantly recognize the title, as next to Master Chief himself, no character is as integral to the overall plot as Halo as the Arbiter is. However, there is a catch. Wolfkill has quoted as, "He is an Arbiter, Arbiter being a title. I've probably just told you more than I was supposed to." It's possible you saw Arbiter armor. While it may not be the one game fans are familiar with, it's important to acknowledge there have been many Shang Heli elites to hold in the title in Halo's long storied history. The Arbiter is the title rather than the individual. The Arbiter's history predates the Human Covenant War by several centuries. The title's legacy is even older than the Shanghalis. I'm sorry if I don't. The title's legacy is even older than the Shanghalis' alliance with the Covenant and before they even learned of another life in the galaxy. Being a species primarily comprised of warriors, the Arbiter was the title given to the race, making many of the decisions on their home planet. With a history as long as the race, there have been many different Arbiters. So it's not the name, it's the title, ranging from tyrannical dictators to benevolent heroes. The Arbiter could be Ripa Morimi in Halo season. So far in the Paramount Halo Plus series, Master Chief and the UNSC have yet to discover the titular Halo rings. That's because they wasted all of a first season with garbage. However, we know that the characters of Halo will eventually get to that point, and the confirmation that Season 2 will depict the fall of Reach further support. Due to this, if Season 2 stays true to the original timeline of the games, then that gives us a pretty good idea of who will be wearing the signature silver armor in the Arbiter this season. The last Sangheli to hold the title of Arbiter before the most popular and influential incarnation was Ripa Morimi. So I don't know that character at all. A ruthless and cunning technician, Morimi was responsible for many bloody campaigns in the name of the Master, the Prophet of Regret, Robin Atkin Downs. Those are the voice actors. Morimi was a major antagonist in the RTS spin-offs, Halo Wars. Yeah, I'm actually playing Halo Wars 2 right now, and it's a really good game. I like it. The cruel military leader was ultimately killed and defeated by a brave human marine named Sergeant John Forge. Nolan North. In the lore of the games, Ripa Morimi was the second to last individual to become Arbiter, given that the last didn't become inducted until after the events of Combat Evolved, which have not occurred in the show yet. Right, so it was almost like a prequel to the actual games. This would make Ripa Morimi the most likely candidate for who is wearing the armor in Season 2. But there's also the possibility that this brand new Arbiter who isn't Ripa or his eventual successor, Thel Vadam, who is voiced by Keith David in Halo 3, which is the only Halo game I've played all the way through. And yes, Keith David was in it, and he's like an awesome voice actor. And he doesn't even need to change his name. He basically just uses his own voice, and it's still sick. Thel Vadam is one of the most important characters in the Halo franchise. So, if they're so important, the Arbiter known as Thel Vadam is easily one of the best characters in the Halo franchise, and not just because the iconic Keith David plays him. While we don't get a proper look at Thel Vadam until Halo 2, his history as a Covenant commander began long ago. His track record as a leader arguably makes him even more ruthless than the hot-headed Ripa Morimi, being responsible for billions of human deaths during the Human Covenant War. Damn. His impeccable military record led him to being placed in order of protecting the Halo array. He failed when a troublesome human hero, Master Chief Steve Downs, helps destroy the ring. Thel's failure to protect the Halo led him to being publicly humiliated, stripped of his rank, and eventually led to the Shangho race being solely replaced by the ape-like Geralhanai. I'm probably butchering these names, thus sowing the seeds of resentment towards Master Chief. However, instead of being put to death, Thel was given the new title as the Arbiter, functioning as a deadly enforcer, ready to do the missions that nobody else in the Covenant was prepared to engage in. Halo 2 even allows players to play as the Arbiter, allowing them to see things from his perspective when Thel discovers the truth. The Covenant's quest for a perfect universe involves using the Halo rings to destroy all life in the galaxy. Right, so this is what leads to Halo 3, where him and Master Chief team up. Maybe there's too much information here that could be spoiling it, but they say that Season 2 is going to be based on Reach, and I didn't really play Reach enough to remember the story for that. Well, you know what, people? That was a pretty good week of news, like a decent drop. A bunch of Last of Us news, some Halo news, and that's pretty great that there's always something to report on, and I always manage to find something from the week. And so that was lots of news, like some big drops on some big shows that are going to be anticipated. Season 2 of 2 shows, Halo Season 2, Last of Us Season 2, and I think Halo Season 2 is going to be a lot better, but we won't find out. Today is the 4th, so 4 more days it's premiering. They're going to drop 2 episodes on February 8th, so I'm going to catch those and then drop a review. So if you want to find out what I think, don't forget to subscribe and like and share. But above all else, don't forget to keep gaming.